Hi guys, welcome back to another video in .NET course series. One thing we have observed in the last videos that every time I restart the service, the data inside the database gets wiped away. This is the reason for that is because we are using in-memory database, and in-memory database is, as the name suggests, it's inside the memory. It's part of the service. So when we restart the service, we actually are also restarting the database. So that's not a good idea. In generally we want to keep our service and database as separate entities. Since we already have a service, instead of using in-memory database, let's spin up another database instance. I'm thinking to have a Docker container running for a Postgresql database. So for that, I've installed Docker on my machine. I have currently Mac running. So there are use Docker desktop, which installs Docker internally. I've used Docker desktop or Mac with Intel chip instruction. You can utilize Apple Silicon if you have Apple chip on your system. There are instruction for Linux and Windows, and this will install Docker on your machine as well. So once it's installed, it will look something like this, as you can see. And then you can go to dashboard and see your containers running. Let's see if I have, these are exited, so they are not running right now. But let's see, I have these two images. I have a Kafka image for unrelated, that's not for this project, and then I have a Postgres image. So in order to pull up official Postgres image, once we have Docker installed, we can let's go back to Visual Studio Code. We can simply do Docker. Obviously we can do Docker version to verify if Docker is installed. This will tell you Docker got installed or not. And if you are using Docker desktop, then it's like another app that you can find out inside applications on your Mac, and that will install Docker for you as well. So once Docker is installed, we can do Docker PS to see all the containers running. So we can see there is nothing running right now. So if we do, let's see, we want to pull an image. In this case, we want to pull Postgres image. So we do Docker pull Postgres. So we do Docker pull Postgres. This, you can see it's pulling the latest image of Postgres from the from Docker image registry. Alright, so I think we have the image installed completed, Docker images. So if we do that, we'll see this new image that came up with the latest tag. So with that going on, now we can run the Docker container from this image. So in order to do that, we can run Docker run. We'll name our container, say video API. We'll pass in few parameters, so few environment variables. That's what -e for, and we'll say the user name. Now we can give any name in here. I'll just say Postgres. Similarly, another environment variable, Postgres. Password, just keep it Postgres here, and we'll map the port as well. So we'll say the port running inside the container, map it to 5432 outside the container, so we can access it outside, and then the name of the image. Few of the parameters are here are optional. For example, if we don't specify user and password, so by default username is Postgres and the password is my secret password, so you really don't need to specify these. And obviously you can modify other things as well. So we'll run that. Didn't find Postgres locally. Let's try 54. Oh, I think I misspelled that. Let's try now. Alright, so we can see the server database has started and system is ready to accept connection. and I could have run that in a detached mode, so we can utilize this terminal, but let's do it later. I'll open another terminal for my service. So in this terminal we have our database running right here. Let's make it smaller. I can go inside my service and specify those settings. So first, in order to connect to PostgreSQL database, I need a package. So for that, let's do, we have been doing dotnet add package from the command line, right, and the name of the package. But I want to show another alternative way to add a NuGet package. For that, we do Command Shift P on Mac and we do dotnet add package video API, and here we search the packages. So we just type in PostgresQl, and then it brings a lot of packages related to Postgres. We want one related to entity framework core, so we want npg-sql. We install that. We choose a stable version. You can see at the bottom it says adding a package, so it's done adding a package. Now we can specify settings inside our app settings.json file. So here we say connection strings. We want we can name anything here, just like this is what we are going to pull from our program.cs file. So we'll just say video db, and we'll say our host is localhost. Alright, so, and our database name is video API, which is what we gave in when we run the docker command. So that was the name of the database, video API, right? Similarly, the username is Postgres, and the password we used is Postgres when we run the command. So that should do it. Now we need to pull this configuration in the program.cs when the service starts, right? So in order to do that, we'll go here, and before builder.build, we'll pull up that configuration. So let's pull the string first. We'll say where connection, we say builder configuration duration dot get connection string, and right here we'll say video db. Video db is what we have up it here, so that's what I've mentioned here, video db. Now we have this connection string, and we need to tie it up now with our builder.services. Add db context video context, which is our video context, and we'll say options, and instead of use SQL Server we want to use PostgreSQL. So we say npg SQL, and we want to put in connection string, right? So that's it. At this point we have a database running. We have configured it here and the connection string, and we pulled that connection string and tied it up to the builder, and now it's tied to app, and then we'll run the app eventually. So let's do .NET run. Alright, so our service is running now. Let's go to post and let's post something. Could not set localhost database. Let me take a look at the connection string again. Database API. I think I have a colon instead of equals to sign. So let's run the service again. .NET run. Alright, service is running. Let's try to post the body again. Awesome. So we can see we are getting 200. Okay, well, this is the get. Let's try to post video. So we got 200. Okay, now we go to get. We are getting the objects back, almost 20 objects, because I posted twice. We can verify going into the database and actually see how does it look like, what are the tables we have. I have this client called dbeaver. It's an open source client. You can download it from internet. I think it's free of cost. We can use that. We know it's Postgresql. Next, we want to connect to Video API. That's our database name, and username is Postgres and password is Postgres. Let's test the connection. Okay, it's good. So let's finish that. Video API, databases, Video API, schemas, public tables. Here is our table. So this is a table that we just created from models, but more like a code first approach here. And this is the migration table that got created. So these are our 4 columns, and I can do view table, and we can see, there are 20 objects right here. Now let's try to go back to service, which is this one. It's running. Let's stop that service. Right, I stopped the service. Obviously I'm not able to hit the endpoint because service is not running. So let me restart the service. So service restarted again, and as you can see, it's a get endpoint. I'm not gonna post anything, but I just want to do a get request, and we get items back because database is still running inside the container. So unlike before videos where every time we were restarting the service, the database getting wiped away as well, this time database is intact because it's running more of a as a separate service. So that is the purpose of this video. Hope you guys liked it. Thank you so much.